Chris Marek finally big car accident share announcement today. Chris Marek emergency hospitalized. Amy's divorced. I will explain everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some unexpected and serious news to share, especially for fans of Little People, Big World. Chris Marek, the husband of Amy Roloff, has reportedly been in a bad car accident. From what we're hearing, the crash was serious enough that Chris is now in the hospital. This news has just come out, and fans are really concerned. So in this video, we're going to go over what we know so far, what Amy and others have said, and how Chris is doing right now. Let's get into it. First of all, if you followed the show over the years, you know Chris. He's been a big part of Little People, Big World ever since he and Amy started dating after her divorce from Matt. They got married in 2021 and have become a favorite couple for many fans of the show. Chris is known for being kind, calm, and always supportive of Amy. Whether it's helping out with events, fixing things around the house, or just being there for the family, he's always been a steady and loving presence. That's why this news is hitting fans so hard. According to recent reports and some updates from close sources, Chris was involved in a major car accident earlier this week. It sounds like it happened while he was driving alone, possibly running errands or heading home. The details of the crash haven't all been released yet, but what we do know is that emergency responders were called to the scene quickly. Chris was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital, and doctors decided to admit him for further treatment. That tells us it wasn't just a small accident. This was something serious. Now, as for injuries, nothing official has been released yet, but some sources close to the family are saying he may have suffered broken bones and possibly a head injury. Right now, he's still in the hospital under observation. Amy Roloff has posted a short message on social media, and you can really feel the emotion in her words. She didn't go into a lot of detail, but she did confirm that Chris was in the hospital after an accident. She asked for prayers and positive thoughts from fans and thanked everyone who had already reached out. She also mentioned that Chris is in good hands and getting the best care possible. That's reassuring to hear, even though we know she must be going through a lot right now. Amy is usually very active online, sharing daily life, recipes, and family moments. But since the accident, she's been a lot quieter, which makes sense. It's likely she's spending most of her time by Chris's side in the hospital and focusing on his recovery. Fans have been flooding the comment sections with messages of support. People from all over the world are wishing Chris a full recovery and sending love to Amy and the whole Roloff family. It's really heartwarming to see how many people care. For now, it seems like the family is asking for some privacy while they deal with everything. That's totally understandable. Accidents like this can shake up everything in an instant, and the most important thing right now is for Chris to rest and heal. So what does this mean for their future plans, the show, and everything else? Well, at this point, it's way too early to say. The number one priority is Chris's health. Depending on how serious his injuries are, he might need surgery, physical therapy, or a long recovery time. But knowing Chris and Amy, they're going to take it one day at a time and stay strong together. A lot of fans are asking if this will be shown or mentioned in future episodes of Little People, Big World. But again, we just don't know yet. It depends on how public the family wants to be about it. We've seen them share difficult moments in the past, but it's possible they'll keep this one more private. It's also a reminder of how quickly life can change. 1 minute, everything's normal, and the next, you're in a hospital dealing with something serious. We're just really hoping that Chris pulls through this without any long-term damage. He's such a good guy, and so many people have grown to love him. He's always smiling, always helping others, and we've seen how happy he makes Amy. That's why fans are taking this news so hard. It's scary, and it makes you realize how precious life really is. If you're watching this and you're a fan of the show, or even if you've just seen clips of Chris over the years, we hope you'll join us in sending positive thoughts and prayers his way. If we get any new updates from Amy or the family, we'll be sure to keep you posted. Right now, it's just a waiting game. Hospitals usually don't release too much information unless the family asks them to. So, we'll respect their privacy and give them the space they need. As for Amy, she's shown time and time again that she's incredibly strong. She's been through a lot in her life: divorce, raising kids, changes on the farm, and now this. But she's always kept going, always kept her faith, and always found a way to move forward. We know she's going to be there for Chris every step of the way. And with the love and support from fans, friends, and family, they'll get through this. Let's all hope for some good news in the coming days. Maybe even a short update from Amy letting us know how Chris is doing. Until then, we're keeping them in our thoughts and hoping for a fast and full recovery. The Roloff family became well known after the show Little People. Big World premiered in 2006. The show followed Matt and Amy Roloff, a couple who both have dwarfism, and their 4 children, Zach, Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob. Over the years, viewers watched the family grow up, face challenges, and go through many changes, both personal and professional. But as time passed, the family slowly started stepping away from the show and living their lives off camera. One of the biggest changes in the family was Matt and Amy's divorce. They were married for nearly 30 years, but over time, their relationship started to break down. In 2015, they officially announced their separation, and the divorce was finalized in 2016. Amy moved off the family farm and bought her own house nearby. Matt stayed on the farm and later started dating Caryn Chandler, who had worked as the farm manager. Amy also moved on and eventually married Chris Merrick in 2021. After the divorce, the ownership of the Roloff farms became a major source of tension. Amy sold her portion of the farm to Matt, giving him full control. But that decision led to more conflict, especially with their sons. Both Jeremy and Zach expressed interest in buying part of the farm, but things didn't work out. According to the family, negotiations didn't go smoothly, and emotions ran high. As a result, neither Jeremy nor Zach ended up buying any part of the property. Zach, who has dwarfism like his parents, was one of the main stars of the show for many years. He and his wife Tori became a central focus of the later seasons. They have 3 children, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah. Jackson and Lila also have dwarfism. For a while, Zach and Tori continued filming the show, but in early 2024, they announced that they would be leaving. They said it was time for their family to move on and live a more private life, especially for their children. Tori also shared that the show didn't feel the same anymore, and that it was no longer something they were passionate about. Jeremy and his wife Audrey left the show even earlier. Back in 2018, they chose to focus on their own projects, like writing books, launching a podcast, and raising their family. They now have 4 children and often share their life on social media. Jeremy had also been interested in taking over the farm, but felt disappointed that it didn't work out. He and Audrey have talked openly about that experience and how it caused tension in the family. Molly, the only daughter in the family, stepped away from the public eye early on. She moved to another state, got married, and works in accounting. She rarely appears on the show anymore and has kept her life mostly private. Unlike her brothers, she wasn't involved in any of the farm drama or public family discussions. Jacob, the youngest of the Roloff kids, also left the show when he became a teenager. He later shared that he felt uncomfortable growing up in front of cameras and said the show didn't always reflect real life. Jacob has also been very vocal about his views on the show's production and how it affected him. In 2020, he revealed that he had been abused by a producer during his time on the show, which deeply affected the family. Since then, Jacob has kept a low profile. He married his wife Isabel, and they have a son named Mateo. He works on the farm occasionally, but doesn't appear on camera. As the children moved on, the show began focusing more on Matt, Amy, and their separate lives. But by season 25, most of the family had stopped participating. In 2024, it was confirmed that the show would come to an end after running for almost 2 decades. Many fans were sad to see it go, but others felt it was time. The show had changed a lot from its early seasons, and the family dynamic had shifted. With the show over, Matt continued trying to sell a portion of Roloff Farms. In 2022, he put part of it up for sale for around $4 million, but there were no buyers. He later turned it into a short-term rental property. As of 2025, Matt is still living on the property and building a new home with hopes of settling down. However, in early 2025, it was reported that he and Caryn had ended their engagement, although they still remain close. Amy, meanwhile, is enjoying married life with Chris. The two have shared a lot of their adventures on social media and spend time with their grandchildren. Amy has also continued some of her small business projects, like her baking and writing. She has tried to stay close with her kids, though the family has admitted that things aren't always easy, especially with the past tensions. There have also been moments of nostalgia. In one episode, the family took down the old treehouse that had been a central part of the farm since the early seasons. It was emotional for everyone, as it symbolized the end of an era. Despite everything, the Roloff family is still a part of many people's lives. Longtime fans still follow them on social media and support their projects. While they're no longer filming, the family's story continues in different ways. Some are writing books, others are podcasting, and most are simply trying to live their lives with a bit more privacy. The show may be over, but it left a lasting impression on viewers. It gave people a glimpse into the life of a family that faced challenges, but also shared a lot of love, humor, and real-life moments. For many fans, Little People, Big World wasn't just about dwarfism or farming. It was about a family trying to stay connected, even through change and conflict. The Roloffs have moved on in different directions, but they'll always be remembered for the time they shared with the world. Whether they're on TV or not, their story has already made an impact, and for many, that's more than enough. Some fans of Little People, Big World are upset with Tori Roloff, and recently, they've taken to social media to share their frustrations. A growing number of critics are accusing Tori of keeping her husband, Zach Roloff, away from his mom, Amy Roloff. They believe Tori has been creating distance between Zach and his mother, and it's become a hot topic among longtime followers of the show. The conversation really picked up after Amy posted pictures from her Mother's Day celebration. In the post, she was seen with her sons Jeremy and Jacob, and she mentioned having talked to Zach and Molly, her daughter. But Zach wasn't seen in any of the photos, and neither was his wife, Tori, or their kids. This led some fans to believe that Zach didn't visit Amy for Mother's Day, which caused people to question why. Right away, some followers began posting angry comments under Amy's photo. One user said they were so over him and Tori, and others asked why Zach couldn't take a little time out of his day to visit his mom. Some went even further and accused Tori of keeping Zach from Amy on purpose, saying it seemed like she was the one controlling the relationship. While there's no proof that Tori is doing this intentionally, the idea has gained attention because of past drama within the Roloff family. Over the years, there have been several conflicts between Zach, his dad Matt, and other members of the family. One major issue came up when Zach wanted to buy part of Roloff Farms from his dad, but the deal didn't work out. Zach felt like Matt didn't handle the situation fairly, and their relationship became strained. After that situation, Zach and Tori decided to move away from the farm and start a new life in Washington. That decision meant they were farther from both of Zach's parents, and since then, some fans have noticed that Zach and Tori seem to attend fewer family events. They also stopped filming Little People, Big World after season 25, saying they wanted to focus on their kids and protect their privacy. Even though Amy has never come out and said anything negative about Tori, fans are reading between the lines. They believe that Tori's silence and absence from family events may mean she's not encouraging a close relationship between Zach and Amy. This has led people to wonder if there's tension between Amy and Tori behind the scenes. On the other hand, there are fans who think the criticism is unfair. They say it's wrong to blame Tori without knowing the full story. They point out that Zach is an adult and makes his own choices. If he didn't visit his mom on Mother's Day, that may have been his decision. Or maybe something came up that wasn't shared publicly. Not every moment of their lives is posted online, And just because someone isn't in a photo doesn't mean they weren't involved in some way. There's also the fact that life has changed for the whole Roloff family. Amy is now married to Chris Merrick, and she no longer lives on the farm. Matt is still running things there, but he has also made changes, including renting out part of the property as a vacation rental. Many of the family traditions that used to bring everyone together, like pumpkin season, are different now, or don't involve the whole family anymore. That alone could be enough to explain the growing distance. Still, the idea that Tori plays a role in that distance keeps coming up. Some fans believe she holds a grudge, or simply prefers to stay separate from the extended Roloff family. In interviews and social media posts, she has sometimes expressed frustration about things being said about her and her family. And when she and Zach left the show, they mentioned that filming had become too stressful and that it wasn't something they wanted to keep doing. From the outside, it's hard to know what's really going on. Family dynamics are complicated, especially when the family has been in the spotlight for so long. Living life on reality TV means that even small decisions can be picked apart by fans, and that seems to be what's happening here. Zach hasn't spoken publicly about the criticism, and neither has Tori. But in the past, they've made it clear that they value their privacy. They're raising 3 young kids and trying to focus on their family life in Washington. It's possible that they're simply setting boundaries and choosing not to be involved in certain events or gatherings that could lead to more drama. Amy, too, has been careful with her words. She's shared moments with her grandchildren on social media and often talks about how much she loves being a grandma. While she might be disappointed when all her children aren't around, she hasn't said anything publicly that would suggest she's upset with Tori or Zach. That hasn't stopped people from guessing, though. Whether or not the criticism is fair, it highlights just how invested fans are in the Roloff family. After nearly 2 decades on television, viewers feel like they know these people, and sometimes that leads to strong opinions. People want to see the family come together, especially around holidays or special occasions. When that doesn't happen, emotions run high. But the truth is, families change, relationships shift, people grow apart, and new boundaries are created. That's normal, even without cameras around. Just because Zach and Tori aren't at every event or in every photo doesn't mean there's something wrong. It may just mean they're focusing on a different season of life. Still, the backlash has been loud. Some fans say they're tired of Zach and Tori's attitude and feel like the couple has distanced themselves too much. Others say it's time for everyone to move on and stop expecting the family to be like they were on the show. Whatever the case may be, one thing is clear. The Roloffs are no longer the united, on-camera family they once were. And whether you think that's Tori's fault, Zach's decision, or just the natural course of life, it's something fans are still talking about. Little People, Big World has been on TV since 2006. Over the years, fans have watched the Roloff family grow, face challenges, and change. But after season 25 ended, many people began to wonder, will the show come back for season 26? At this point, there is no official announcement from TLC about a renewal or cancellation. The network hasn't said whether the show is over or coming back. That's left fans guessing and speculating about what's really happening. One of the biggest reasons people are unsure is because Zach and Tori Roloff, 2 of the main cast members, announced that they're done filming. After season 25 aired in early 2024, Tori confirmed on social media that they would not be returning. She said it was time to move on and focus on their family. According to her, the show was no longer something they wanted to be part of. It had become too hard emotionally, and their priorities had shifted. Zach and Tori's decision to leave the show is a big deal. They've been central to the series for years, especially as other family members stopped appearing. Their kids, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah, had also become fan favorites. Without them, the show would look very different. Matt Roloff, the father of the family, also shared some thoughts after season 25 ended. He posted on Facebook that now that his non-disclosure agreement with the network had ended, he could speak more openly. He said he wasn't sure if the show was over or not. He explained that the future of the show depends on a lot of things, like who's willing to film, what the network wants, and how fans respond. Matt said he'd be open to filming more, but only under the right circumstances. He made it clear that he doesn't have the final say, and the decision belongs to the network. So even though he might want to continue, others might not. Another clue comes from how season 25 ended. It wasn't labeled as a series finale, just a season finale. That means the door might still be open. The network could be deciding whether or not to move forward, or maybe they're considering a different format, like a special episode or a shorter season with just a few cast members. The truth is, the show has already changed a lot. Amy and Matt got divorced. Amy married Chris Marek. Matt got engaged to Caryn Chandler. The farm, which was once the center of the show, has changed hands and been partially turned into a rental business. Several of the Roloff kids, Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob, have stepped away from filming completely. Molly lives out of state and keeps her life private. Jacob and his wife Isabel are raising their son and rarely appear in public. Jeremy and Audrey have chosen to focus on their own projects, with most of the original family no longer filming, and with Zach and Tori now out. It's hard to say who would be left to carry the show. That's one reason some fans think season 25 might have been the end, even if the network hasn't said so officially. Still, some viewers believe there's a chance for at least a small return. Maybe Matt and Caryn could film updates from the farm. Maybe Amy and Chris would join in for a few episodes. There could be holiday specials or family reunion-style events. Some fans even hope for a spin-off that focuses on a specific part of the Roloffs' lives, like running the farm or grandparenting. There's also the question of whether the show still draws enough viewers to make it worth producing. After 25 seasons, many fans have grown up with the family. Some still watch faithfully, but others have moved on. If the ratings aren't strong enough, the network might decide it's time to wrap it up. At the same time, reality shows like this one often go quiet for a while and then return in a new form. So even if there's no season 26 right away, that doesn't mean the Roloffs are completely done with TV. One more thing to consider is how the family feels about being in the spotlight. Over the years, several of them have said that filming took a toll. Zach once mentioned that certain moments didn't feel authentic on camera. Jacob, the youngest, left the show years ago and later said he felt uncomfortable growing up on reality TV. He even shared that he experienced abuse by a producer, which deeply impacted him and the family. Those kinds of experiences may explain why some Roloffs prefer to live more privately now. Tori and Zach also mentioned it being on the show, with their children added pressure. They wanted to make sure their kids weren't affected by being on camera all the time. For fans, it's a bit sad to think the show might be over. Little People, Big World gave people a real look into the lives of a family with dwarfism, showing their joys and struggles in an honest way. It also touched on things everyone deals with: family problems, growing up, marriage, divorce, parenting, and change. But at the same time, it's understandable that after so many years, the Roloffs might be ready to close this chapter. They've given a lot of their lives to the public. Maybe now it's time for them to just be a regular family, without cameras following them around. So, what do we know for sure? The network hasn't confirmed anything. Zach and Tori are out. Matt is open but unsure. And most of the other family members are living quiet, off-camera lives. It's possible the show could come back in a smaller way. It's also possible that season 25 was the end, even if no one says it out loud. Until TLC makes an official statement, we can only wait and watch. Maybe there will be a surprise return. Maybe we'll get a few special episodes. Or maybe the Roloffs will just share updates on social media from time to time. Whatever happens, the legacy of Little People, Big World is already strong. It lasted nearly 20 years, which is rare for a reality show. It gave viewers an inside look at a unique family. And no matter what comes next, it's left a lasting impact. That's all for today's video. If you want to stay updated on this story and more news about the Roloff family, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. We'll bring you any new information as soon as it's available. And in the comments, feel free to leave your messages for Chris and Amy. We know they might see them, and every bit of support helps during a time like this.